It was supposed to be an evolution, an Indiegogo campaign that had people excited, an 8-inch Android tablet or game controller or both. But it ended up being a disaster. And once it actually supposedly shipped, most people were left with nothing more than doing this. That's right. What happened? I'll tell you what happened, deadheads. I don't normally get involved or upset about things, but I went on a campaign and I wanted to make sure that nobody bought this item because I didn't think it was actually going to be made. Surprise me, it's actually there. So remember to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode of our show. Anyways, let's get... Are you thirsty? Do you like root beer? Well, my friend, you should try out the brand new A&W... No, wait. I'm not a root beer spokesperson. I'm not even Canadian. Shout out to my friend up there at Techdweeb. Hello, deadheads. Welcome to the channel. Or welcome to the channel for the first time, new deadheads. Today, we're unboxing and taking a first look at the TJD 80, now under this another brand, sold on Amazon. Let's dive in and get this thing open. Okay, here she is, boys. So, even though I didn't think I would ever actually see this released anywhere, here it is. So, very basic box here, but we do have the specs right here that I'll show on the screen. Again, this is a 3588S, the same one we saw in the GameForce Ace, so we're fairly familiar with how that performs. It has the Mali G610, 8 gigs of LP DDR4X, it's 256 gig eMMC, along with the TF card support. And it's got this 248 by 1536 IPS 4:3 ratio screen. I'm pretty excited. And again, the 10,000 milliamp battery. These are some pretty good specs, but this company is not known for any kind of support or backing. And so who knows if this thing will actually function once I open it up. So anyways, the T80, they do have listed here black, yellow, white, and green. And nothing else on the box here. There is a label here. Tablet model T80, gaming tablet 24 gigahertz, made in China. So let's get her out of this box and let's see what we find out here, guys. All right, so we have a nice little overview here. So Type-C 3.0, our sound. So there's 2 speakers, trumpets, start, right stick, cross key, home select, our buttons, front camera. This is 7.9 inch screen, close enough to 8. Handle mode, so we've got that, and below, nothing on the back of that. Pretty decent packaging on the inside, and this thing looks dusty already. Just opened it up and looks like they sealed it with some dust. So it looks like there is a screen protector on it. So that's nice. Yeah, there's a screen protector on it. Oh, well, it's not on it, it's just sitting on top of it. So we'll get that out of the way and we'll put that on here. Very first look at this, and buttons seem okay. Ooh, sticks feel nice. Okay, do these come off? These do not come off, so they're like switch style, but they feel nice. Okay, so far, liking that. Let's see this D-pad. D-pad decent. All right, so we're off to a pretty good start here. This okay, this is big, you know, and guys, I'm learning about myself. I am not a big handheld guy. I mean, I think that's why I preferred the Pocket S to the Odin 2. I like slim and smaller, but this isn't bad. I mean, one of the reasons with the iNeo Slide that I liked a lot was it just was too heavy and distributed. But this feels pretty good. This reminds me of the Next Lite. So if I had to compare it to the way it feels in the weight, the iNeo Next Lite is what I would say comparison to. So here's our speakers. Plastic seems okay. Sticks I really like. Buttons are somewhat loud, but not real loud. So that's not too bad. On the triggers, we do have a full USB port, a mini HDMI. There's our TF slot, so that's an interesting place to put our TF slot. Our volume rocker, our power, and some vent. There's a vent right there. Nice texture here on the side for gripping. I like that. That feels pretty good. For me, my hands, the D-pad, I guess if you're not using too much of the shoulders, D-pad feels a little low. I wish maybe this was up a little bit instead of this huge curve down here. But take a look at the back, and oh, I did not expect that. That's nice. That looks like a 3D print, like on a plate. And there's that camera. We have a vent. Oh, and there's some M1 buttons back here, reminiscent of the Legion Go. That's another thing this feels like. This feels a lot like the Legion Go. If I had to also compare it in the size and weight, I'd say it's pretty much like the Legion Go in size. Yeah. So let's get this thing. See what else. Let's see what else is in the rest of the box here. So we did get that screen protector. Have a little supply box here, and I think that's it. Yeah, nothing else. No manual. I guess that top part was the manual. But overall, it is real. Hardware-wise, initial impression, it's not awful, but we'll see how it does with software and setup. And what do we have in here? So we do have USB C to C. Oh boy, what a joy to see C to C charging on a handheld. I'm just really excited about that, for real. And oh, deadheads, this is something I'm not expecting. This, look, when's the last time you saw a brick? So we actually have a charging brick with it. So that's pretty interesting. And then here's our manual. So we do have a manual. So this thing is real. It does exist. I don't know why this company was so awful, just completely so awful with their support of their Windows handheld and their marketing efforts. Because it looks like they are able to actually put something out. Let's take a look at this manual, and are we going to get any English here? Here we go. So we do have English. So this is pretty helpful. Looks like a pretty detailed network, pretty detailed instructions here. So not bad, not bad. So let's get this thing fired up. I'm going to set it up and then let's test it out. Let's boot it up and see what happens. Rock chip. Yep, 3588S. So I wonder if this is going to allow us to do any sort of Linux, because that would be really nice. There's the Android. I hope this Android is unlocked and rootable. So I'm going to get this set up, but the screen initially looks pretty good and crisp. So no issues with the screen. Let me just zoom in just a little bit here, and yeah, it looks pretty decent. So again, this is a 2K 4:3 aspect ratio screen, and this could be quite nice, as opposed to a telescopic handheld, telescopic controller along with a tablet. This is just together and going to stay together and supposedly work in the ecosystem. But let me get this set up. Okay, deadhead. So upon setting this up, this has this rather horrendous front end. We have single games, network games, settings, my collections, music, and my apps. So it's very, very basic. And then if you go in here, you have your list of apps here. And this is a touchscreen, so you can do it with a touchscreen. I don't have any games set up here, no network games. So it doesn't come with any games. That's not surprising. If we look at this battery, it is showing 67% with 4 hours left. That's not what I had expected. With a 10,000 milliamp battery, I was hoping it would do more. But we're going to have a full review where we do some battery testing on this just to see, because this just started. And to be fair, maybe that's not very accurate for the time that's left. But you can see that it is running Android. Here's the About tablet. And it is running Android 12, so it does show that it's running Android 12, so that's good. But this is horrendous. I'm gonna have to do something about getting rid of this, because this is just as awful. So let me get some more set up, but I wanted to show you what it looked like, the way it comes from the factory. I have added some of these emulators. There were no emulators on here, so I did add those emulators myself when I backed it up using my account, so that's why that was on there. But let me just get this set up and we'll do a little testing of it. All right, so now that I've got it set up, a couple of things. Yes, it is a horizontal that's been turned on its side. So that is, you know, not too surprising, but it does present some issues with it. But the other thing is I was able to get that completely awful, that completely terrible home launcher off of there. So now we have our normal launcher. So that's good. So they didn't lock it down or make it where you can't use it. But let's get into some gaming here and let's try some stuff out. All right, let's start with some PS2 here, some Crash Twinsanity. And first let me say that I'm really enjoying the sound here. It sounds really good. So I'm already impressed with the speakers. The D-pad is pretty good and the buttons are good. I'm running this at 2.25 resolution. We'll push it up further once we see how this runs. Oh guys, look at it, feel that screen. Yes, this looks good. I've been playing a lot of this on my Mini, my Retroid Pocket Mini, and yeah, this is good, guys. This looks great. But let's see if we can push this up a little. Let's go and change the resolution just a little bit. 2.25. Let's see if we can take it up to a full 3x, 3.5x. Look at that. Boy, that looks freaking gorgeous, guys. I'm running at a 3.5x. And it looks gorgeous, guys. This doesn't surprise me. We already knew from the Gameforce Ace that the RK3588S was a very capable chip. But this is running better than my Mini. And that's the Snapdragon 865. So I'm not a benchmark guy, but leave me a comment if you guys know. But yeah, this looks gorgeous. Look at this 4:3 screen. Filling the screen, this big, large 8 inches. It's playing really, really good. These controls are good. These sticks feel good, even though they're just Switch sticks. I'm really enjoying it. But let's try Jak 3, because we know that's the game that struggles. And I'm expecting Jak 3 not to run at this resolution, but let's try it. We'll be right back. All right, as we give this a real test here. Yep, you can already hear the stutter. So it's not going to run at a 3.5x. Let's see if we can get it running at 1.75 though. That would be pretty nice if we can get it to run at 1.75. Still not quite. If you remember on my Mini, I had to go down to 0.75 to get it to just stop stuttering. Let's see if we can get just 1x. Try 1.25. And to be fair, let me get past this FMV because it may be an FMV problem. Voila. We'll skip the FMV and let's see here. And not running. And to be honest, even on my Pocket S with the Snapdragon G3X Gen 2, it doesn't run really great either. This could be a software development issue as well. You know, this software is not being actively developed. But at 1.25, it's rough. Let's just see if we can get it down at 1x resolution and see what that looks like. So I would say at a 1x resolution, it's very playable. So pretty impressive. Again, this CPU and GPU is pretty darn good, guys. It's not Snapdragon Gen 3 GX, as I crashed there. But I would say this is playable. All I did is change the resolution to 1x. I didn't have to do any other changes to it. I am running under Vulkan. Still kind of has some slowdown. It's not perfect, but definitely serviceable. Let's take a look at some GameCube. All right, guys, as we take a look at some Donald Duck here on Dreamcast. So what are my thoughts here? Well, let's talk about some of the things that I didn't care for a whole lot. First one, there's some weird quirks, like the fact that your select button is a different size than your start button, and they're in different spots. You would think that the select button and the start button would be in a very similar spot. However, as you can see here, you have start on top with a bigger button here, but select is not on top, it's home. So that's just a little bit weird thing. Also, back here on the back side, these are just placed in an awkward place. They're not very effective. They're not, you know, where they're placed are just not great. I don't like them. I think they could have done better. I like that they exist, but I just don't really find them to be very favorable. I also had a little bit issues with the software, and there's no support coming out of this company. And by company, I mean the people who put this together. I don't know if this third party is going to actually support this better and actually give us, you know, the support that we would need. But there's just no support coming from the original company. They produced this thing. They're probably still producing it. They're selling it to third parties who are reselling it. And that's probably all they're going to ever do. So that is the things I don't like. What I do like is this huge, beautiful, big screen. It is a nice 4:3 big, beautiful screen. As you can see here, Dreamcast looks amazing. The CPU, as expected, is performing very well. The results we had with the GameForce Ace, with a little bit of custom firmware on this thing could even improve better. I do like the overall feel and weight of it. It reminds me of holding the Legion Go. So if you held a Legion Go, it's pretty similar to holding that. So the weight distribution is about the same. It feels very similar to that. I do think that it is a overall nice, well-designed handheld, which is a surprise because I didn't think this thing was really even going to ship. That being said, I don't think I can recommend this price. At this price, there are plenty of other large handhelds that you could get, and that's a real shame because this is a pretty decent handheld that I am enjoying. I am having a pretty good time with this handheld, which is, you know, pretty nice because I really just thought I was going to get this and just point out everything wrong with it, but I actually found myself liking it, guys. So, you know, I really hope maybe they can get some better consultation, some better advice on how to launch products, because they know how to make them, and they got to do after support. That is going to be key, because without after support, it just really doesn't really even matter. But this has nice buttons, nice sticks, good D-pad. It has a decent weight distribution. The screen is beautiful. It has a super large battery. I haven't done any battery testing, but it seems to be holding the battery pretty darn good for what I've been doing, playing it and putting it through its setup and playing some high demanding games. The fan is not loud and it doesn't get warm. I haven't felt any heat anywhere on it, so it seems to be distributing heat pretty well. It is a little bit of a thick boy, but that's probably so it can distribute the heat evenly and get it out of the chassis. Well, guys, let me know what you think about this TJD 80, this T80 that we never thought would come out, but it's here, and I'll leave a link in the description if you want to buy one. Again, I can't recommend this at its current price simply because for that money there are much better solutions that you can go out there. Get a Pocket S with a Snapdragon G3 X Gen 2, spend $500 on that, get an Odin Portal. There's just better options out there at this price. That being said, if this thing was at $299, I would say, yeah, this is a buy. So unless, you know, money is just not an issue for you and you just want to try out a RK3588S, then by all means do it. Anyways, remember to love your hugged ones and hug your loved ones, because tomorrow is never promised, deadheads. We'll see you next time. Dead Fred out. Hi Deadheads, thanks for watching. Just wanted to take a moment to talk about today's sponsor, AliExpress, and this little guy. This is a USB Wi-Fi adapter. As you know, many of our beloved handhelds are shipping at the low end without any Wi-Fi built in, but they have Wi-Fi support. And this little guy right here is a good, easy, cheap solution which allows you to add Wi-Fi to many of your handheld devices. I want to thank our friends at AliExpress for supporting the channel.